श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सागरनाथानुतं पंचजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादां सागरललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिने नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणि प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य गुरु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत वेदांत श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे सर्वशास्त्र पीयूष सर्ववेद सत्फल सर्वसिद्धांत रत्नाढ्य सर्वलोकैकप्रदा सर्वभागवत प्राण श्रीमद् भागवत प्रभु श्री कृष्ण परिवर्तिता परमानंद पाठाय प्रेम शिक्षाय ते सर्वदा सर्वसेव्य श्री कृष्ण नमस्तुमे हरेक बंधो वत्संगी बंधुरो मनहाधना मनस्कामद्भाग्यवतानंद नमोस्तुते असाधु साधितादायि नतिमुच्यता करा आनमचिरता चिन्मां ब्रह्मा हरकंठयोस्पुरा ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय 5 chapter 5 3BA questions 1 why did Vidura not immediately ask Maitreya Muni about the Lord 2 into a subject which would be of great importance to the common man. Question 2. Examine the platforms of Vaidhi Bhakti and Raga Bhakti. The Bhakti process is performed under the regulated principles of Vaidhi Bhakti, or devotion service following the prescribed rules and regulations defined by the revealed scriptures and confirmed by great acharyas. This practice can help the neophyte devotee to rise to the stage of Raga Bhakti, in which the Lord responds from within as the Chaitya Guru or the spiritual master as super consciousness. Question 3. Comment on scarcity in the world. 5 and 49.
Comment means one has to comment. It's not just to say, memorize and.
No. Wait, let's see if Prabhupada has commented on it.
Yeah, Prabhupada has commented.
There is no scarcity for maintenance in the material world. Because of their poor fund of knowledge, the materialists are disturbed when there is an apparent increase of population on the earth. Whenever there is a living being on the earth, however, his subsistence is immediately arranged by the Lord. The other species of living entities who far outnumber human society are never disturbed for maintenance. They are never seen dying of starvation. It is only human society that is disturbed about the food situation, and to cover up the real fact of administrative mismanagement, takes shelter in the plea that the population is excessively increasing. If there is any scarcity in the world, it is a scarcity of God consciousness. Otherwise, by the grace of the Lord, there is no scarcity of anything. 49. What is this? 49. It's too long. It's too long. I'm going to request that this question be removed. Question 4. Explain how there are different descriptions of creation, etc., mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam 6. I don't see anything beyond this. This should be the answer. There is no difference regarding the creative principles and the Lord's control over them. Yet there are some differences in the minute details because of different kalpas. Question 5. Why is a civilized man expected to give all protection to the bulls and cows? 7. The cow is the most important animal for developing the human body to perfection. The body can be maintained by any kind of foodstuff, but cow's milk is particularly essential for developing the finer tissues of the human brain so that one can understand the intricacies of transcendental knowledge. A civilized man is expected to live on foodstuffs comprising fruits, vegetables, grains, sugar, and milk. The bull helps in the agricultural process of producing grain, etc. And thus, in one sense, the bull is the father of humankind, whereas the cow is a mother, for she supplies milk to human society. A civilized man is therefore expected to give all protection to the bulls and cows. 6. Examine the difference between mundane literature and Krishna Katha, 7 to 16. I think this will come here. What is why it has to be 7 to 16?
In purport, Prabhupada, sometimes in some purport is describing about all this.
Obviously, it's just too long.
Yeah, it will too many things.
These are all meant to be. Maybe we should have, anyway, next round of Bhakti-vaibhava, we should have a different set of. We should have answers which are below 50 words, answers which are 51 to 100 words, answers which are 101 to 200 words, like that. Overall. And it should be decided what should be kept for understanding, what should be kept for memory and recall. This is all too much. Question 7. What is the meaning of Adhokshaja 18? Adhokshaja means that which transcends the limits of sense perception or sensuous experience. 8. Describe the process by which living entities appear. 24 to 26. The Lord, being the undisputed proprietor of everything, was the only seer. The cosmic manifestation was not present at that time, and thus he felt imperfect without his plenary and separated parts and parcels. The material energy was dormant, whereas the internal potency was manifested. The Lord is the seer, and the external energy, which is seen, works as both cause and effect in the cosmic manifestation. Oh, greatly fortunate Vidvan, this external energy is known as Maya or illusion, and through her agency only its entire material manifestation made possible. The Supreme Living Being is featured as a transcendental Purusha incarnation, whose the Lord's plenary expansion impregnates the material nature of three modes, and thus by the influence of eternal time, the living entities appear. 9. What is Mahat Tattva? Why 27 to 29? Doesn't Prabhupada just give a simpler explanation?
In the translation of 27 itself is there the supreme sum total of matter, all the matter.
Look at this.
Yeah.
This is all the further transformations of Mahat Tattva. 29. No, I'm not happy with this question also. Not knowledge questions. These are all because you'll have to synthesize all information from various sources for which you're testing their understanding. 10. What is the role of false ego? Under the pressure of false ego, the conditioned souls, although parts and parcels of the Supreme Personality of God, claim to be the enjoyers of material nature. This false ego is the binding force of material existence. 11. Which items are produced by the interaction of false ego and the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance? 30 to 37, that must be here. Why 37? No, this is wrong. It is not 30 to 37. It is 30 to 32 only. Because from Akasha, from sky, then the Lord has to activate further to bring about the other elements. It should be up to 32 only, not 37. Because the other products are not due to an interaction of false ego and the mode of ignorance. Up to Akasha that you can say, but after Akasha you cannot say that. After that, the Lord has to glance over it, then time has to be mixed in. There's a lot of other further things that happen. So this is also wrong. Reference for question 11 should be 32. The false ego is transformed into mind by interaction of the mode of goodness. All the demigods who control the phenomenal world are also products of the same principle, namely the interaction of false ego and the mode of goodness. The senses are certainly products of the mode of passion and false ego, and therefore philosophical, speculative knowledge and fruitive activities are predominantly products of the mode of passion. The sky is a product of sound, and sound is the transformation of egoistic ignorance. That much. 12. Question 12. What are the river Ganges and Bhagavad Gita considered to be? 41. The river Ganges and the Bhagavad Gita are chief sources of transcendental happiness for mankind, and intelligent persons must take shelter of them to go back home, back to Godhead. So they are considered to be chief sources of transcendental happiness. Question 13. Examine the results of hearing Krishna Katha. 42, 44. The answer for this in 42.
Before purport is something that (42) translation and 44 purport.
Now, see, the translation talks about hearing and meditating.
44 purport is there. The process of hearing Krishna Katha is the most effective means to gain release from unwanted family effects and to find permanent freedom in life.
What is that? Oh, this is good. In this age of Kali, the process of hearing Krishna Katha is the most effective means of gaining release from unwanted family affection and thus finding permanent freedom in life. The age of Kali is full of sinful reactions, and people are more and more addicted to the qualities of this age. But simply by hearing and chanting of Krishna Katha, one is sure to go back to Godhead. Therefore, people should be trained to hear only Krishna Katha by all means in order to get relief from all miseries. Promopati Prabhu.
So here in this 42 sloka purport, first line it is mentioned, the miracle of meditating on the lotus feet of Supreme Lord with eagerness and devotion. So what is that eagerness?
Well, with eagerness to meditate on him.
So how one can get that eagerness?
That one has to submissively associate with those who have that eagerness. All answers to how can I get this, how can I get that is that one thing only. It's called Tattvavid Prasanga. To take shelter of realized souls. Okay, question 14. Compare the results of Jnana and Yoga with the results of Bhakti, 45 to 47. Oh, great Supreme Lord, offensive persons whose internal vision has been too affected by external materialistic activities cannot see your lotus feet, but they are seen by your pure devotees whose one and only aim is to transcendently enjoy your activities. What? 46. You should do 46 and 47, no? Well, 45 also is there. Your lotus feet are seen by your pure devotees, whose one and only aim is to transcendently enjoy your activities. Persons who, because of their serious attitude, attain the stage of enlightened devotion service. Comma. There should be a comma there. Achieve the complete meaning of renunciation and knowledge, and attain the Vaikuntha Loka in the spiritual state simply by drinking the nectar of your topics. Others were pacified by means of transcendental self-realization and have conquered over the modes of nature by dint of strong power and knowledge, also enter into you. But for them there is much pain, whereas a devotee simply discharges devotion service and thus feels no such pain. Now in 47 purport, is there a reference to Gyanis and yogis? Okay, fine. Analogies. 5 purport. What is this? Something in the chat box. Did you mean I should take the physical association? Yeah, tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadikshyanti te jnanam jnanena tattvadarshinaha. Baladev Vidyabhushana says this is called association. So it requires all that. Pranipata, pariprashna, seva. We are not rich people. So we require to serve more advanced souls. Okay, 5 purport. Thinking material nature to be independent is like seeking milk from the nipple-like bags on the neck of a goat. 10 purport. As fire is never satisfied in its consumption of firewood, so a pure devotee of the Lord never hears enough about Krishna. 24 purport. Although the creation of the eternal potency was manifested, the other potency appeared to be sleeping. And the Lord wanted to awaken her to activity just as a husband wants to awaken his wife from the sleeping state for enjoyment. 47 purport. The devotees derive more transcendental pleasure while engaged continuously in the service of the Lord than when they have no such engagement. In the family combination of a man and a woman, that's much labor and responsibility for both of them. Yet when they are single, they feel more trouble for want of their united activities. 51 purport. As some of the old prisoners in government jails are entrusted with some responsible work of prison management, so the demigods are improved conditioned souls, acting as representatives of the Lord in the material creation. We will come back to this later. 6. Summarize the main point of verses 2 to 10. What is this 2 to 10? What is this? No, I'm going to say remove this. Into after the 23 principal elements were set in action by the God, what came into existence? 4 to 5. When the 23 principal elements were set in action by the will of the Supreme, the gigantic universal form or the Vishwarupa body of the Lord came into existence. As the Lord in the Spindly portion entered into the elements of the universal creation, they transformed into the gigantic form in which all the planetary systems and all movable and immovable creations rest. Question 3. What happened after the entrance of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu in the universe? 6. .6. After the Lord entered each and every universe as the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, half of the universe was filled with water. Can we say that's the answer?
Sort of. There is.
Yeah, I'll just keep that as the answer. That's all. Question 4. Explain the examples of the frog in a well and plow department. 10. Here it is. The mundane PhDs are completely unable to understand the Supreme with their limited senses. Such attempts by the puffed up PhDs are compared to the philosophy of the frog in the well. A frog in a well was informed of the gigantic Pacific Ocean, and he began to puff himself up in order to understand or measure the length and breadth of the Pacific Ocean. Ultimately, the frog burst and died. The title PhD can also be interpreted as plow department, a title meant for the tillers in the paddy field. The attempt of the tillers in the paddy field to understand the cosmic manifestation and the cause behind such wonderful work can be compared to the endeavor of the frog in the well to calculate the measurement of the Pacific Ocean. Question 5. What is the difference between the demigods and ordinary living entities? 12. What? No, it's simply not here. Is it before? It's actually 11. 11. Anyway, first, the answer. The demigods are separated parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord, as are all other living entities. The only difference between demigods and ordinary living entities is that when living entities are rich in pious acts of devotional service to the Lord, but still desire to lord it over the material energy, they are promoted to the posts of demigods, who are entrusted by the Lord with executing the management of the universal affairs. The reference for question 5 is 11. Okay. Question 6. What is the most important source of knowledge and why? 17.
What is the most important instrument for achieving knowledge?
What is your original? Yena Pratipadya. You can be considered source also. The word source is also found here, but actually it refers to Vedic sound. It's not just any sound. And why? So that means it must be this. Sound is the most important medium for carrying the message of distant and unknown things. The perfection of all sound or knowledge enters through the ear and makes one's life perfect. The entire Vedic system of knowledge is received by oral reception only, and thus sound is the most important source of knowledge. Seven, list some of the directors of material affairs in the universal form, 12 to 16. List some of the directors means what is some? These questions have how many marks maximum?
And Bhavagrind and the broken tell.
We said
Hare
three.
Krishna Prabhu.
Only
4-5 marks maximum we can ask in the question bank, like question paper. Even
So
4 marks, 5 marks.
4 marks means just, so I'll change this question to list 4 of the directors of material affairs in the universal form. In English, sum simply is indefinite now. So we don't know what is that sum. So instead of that, let's put 4. List 4. 12 to 26. You're talking of Agni, Varuna, Ashwini Kumaras, Surya, Anila, Dick, the directions. Then you have the controlling deities of sensation, touch sensation. Prajapati, Mitra, Indra, the demigod named Vishnu, who is actually empowered by Vishnu himself. Then you have Lord Brahma himself. Then you have Chandra, Rudra. Then you have Mahatattva, who's the predominant deity of Mahatattva. So these are the Tattvika Devas. These are the Parama Vaishnavas. They are great devotees. Indra is here also in the list. Now I'm going to change it to 4. Keep it simple. Mhm. 4 marks. 4 marks. Question 8. Why is the mouth the most important of the bodily parts? 30. Each and every part of the body is important, although the mouth is the most important of the bodily parts. If other parts are cut off from the body, a man can continue his life, but if the mouth is cut off, one cannot live. Actually, here mouth is an upalakshana for face, head. It is an indication for the face. I will delete this question. It will come into understanding. Nine. The problems of modern human society are due to what? Last sentence. The problems of modern human society are due to the lack of qualified brahmanas and kshatriyas and the over-influence of the Vaishyas and Shudras due to the so-called general franchise. 10. What is the meaning of Visha? 32. This is Visha with the accent above the S, not the dot below the S. question itself, what is the meaning of Vaishya?
It is there, Prabhu. I think in the purport itself says, Prabhupada somewhere says that it's or agriculture and the business of distributing.
Yeah, first time.
First
I can see. Human society's means of living is clearly mentioned here as Vishya, or agriculture and the business of distributing agricultural products, which involves transport, banking, etc. Essentially, it's meant to be Vishaha. It's actually Vit or Vish. This is plural form. Singular form will be Vit. Be Vishaha. We also should do Vishaha. 11. List the different subsections of the Vaishyas. 32. The Vaishyas are divided into many subsections. Some of them are called Kshetri or landowners. Some are called Krishna or land tillers. Some of them are called Tilavani or grain raisers. Some are called Gandhavani or merchants in spices. And some are called Swarnavani or merchants in gold and banking. Nowadays, nobody is showing interest in agriculture. No, there are big agribusinesses going on.
But it is all industrialized, all the big industrialists, they come. It's like America, how they do in America. They are doing
They are interested.
Yeah, sort of. But it is more not for the protection of the cows and all those things, more for the profit.
I think previously also, even the individuals, Vaishyas were always thinking of money now.
But
Just
still
that it is irregular. It has become irregular because they are not, there's no concept of charity. It's all gone. It's some big mix up. It's become some nonsense. 12. What does the three danda of the Vaishnava sannyasi represent? 36. The Tridandi sannyasi of the Vaishnava school accepts three rods representing the vow to engage in the service of the Lord with body, mind, and speech. Whereas the Ekadandi sannyasi takes a vow to become one with the Supreme. These are the Mayavadi Ekadandi sannyasis. So the three rods represent the vow to engage in the service of the Lord with body, mind, and speech. That is the answer. Analogy. 39 purport. A small banyan fruit contains thousands of small seeds, and each seed holds the potency of another tree, which again holds the potency of many millions of such fruits as causes and effects. But the speculators can never appreciate the simple potential activities of the banyan tree. Oh, this is nice. This is so nice. This is so good. Very good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 and
Vishnu, the demigod Vishnu.
where is the demigod?
Oh no, it's there. It is there.
Directions of deities of the directions.
So there, here, where is your cursor? The deities of the directions.
How many deities are there? 8?
I think so, yeah. 8. 10? No, 8. 10 directions.
There are totally 23 Satvika Devas. Oh, this is 2. Ashwini Kumar is 2.
Hmm.
So it is 15. 15 plus 8 is 23. That's how we get 23. Okay. Then, if we can get any problems in these things, can we pray to them? If we get any problems in these things, means what? First of all, we always pray to Krishna. Because whatever we do, there will always be some problems in material existence. We should pray to Krishna instead of not praying to Krishna and trying to solve the problems. Okay, chapter 7. Question 1. What misconceptions are Vidura's inquiries clearing? By asking various questions about the Lord's transcendental activities, Vidura is clearing the misconception that when the Lord either descends to the earth in his incarnation or appears himself with all his potencies, he too is subjected to the influence of Maya, just like an ordinary living entity. So these are the misconceptions that Vidura's inquiries will be clearing. Chat box. What should we pray to Krishna? What should we pray to Krishna? Please engage me in your devotional service. Let me get out of this misery. There are different degrees of prayers. Corresponding to one state of consciousness, the prayers will also differ. In Shikshashtaka, we get to see various grades of prayers. Are there 33 crores of demigods, 33 types of demigods? Obviously, the number of demigods will go in lakhs or crores, because from the milk ocean itself, the number of chief apsaras who came out itself is counted in some lakhs. So it must be some gigantic. It must be some gigantic figure. They have also ability to change their forms and so on. So there's no population explosion and all that there. 33 types of demigods, that also is sometimes we come across as.
In Raman commentary, it comes one place, I think in first canto itself.
Yeah, it's some gigantic number of.
And then there are 33 types also. Govindas talks about 33 types also.
Okay. There what? 33 categories?
Yeah.
Something
I mean,
like
it's not categories. Adityas are like how many, and then different things. Altogether 33 like that. I forgot it.
Yeah, just can you trace it out and post it in the group?
Okay.
Okay. I thought there was a question.
Prabhu, when you said that we should always pray to Krishna, like even for material things, like we hear that we should not ask for material things to Krishna.
Wait. Don't ask questions like we, because I don't know who this we is. So ask one who is trying to engage in pure devotional service, Uttama Bhakti. Can he pray?
Okay.
If you say we, ISKCON is a very confused audience. So I don't know who is this we. So those who, for instance, are interested in engaging in adharma at the earliest possible opportunity, they should pray to the Supreme Lord, you please engage me in devotional service mixed with dharma. Because given the opportunity, they will engage in adharma. That is their qualification. That is their capacity. They will not go beyond that. But those who have come to a point where they are incapable of engaging in adharma, they will naturally think about how to attain philosophical realizations along with progress in Krishna consciousness. And then those who are even further mature, they are interested only in pleasing Krishna, and they're neither addicted to adharma, nor are they addicted to material dharma, nor are they interested in various philosophical understandings and so on, except for what is essentially required to engage in pure devotion service to Krishna. For them, can they pray for material reasons? They will naturally not be inclined to pray for these things because it impels them to engage further in pure service to Krishna. So that's how, yeah. There was I remember one sannyasi in the 80s, when after the Narasimhadev was established in Mayapur, Narasimhadev deity. So every year he would come, ISKCON sannyasi. He would come and he would pray to Narasimhadev. Oh, Narasimhadev, my heart is filled with so many anarthas, such as false ego. Please do whatever is needed to remove them. 80s and 90s also. So then he went through extreme difficulty, intolerable extreme difficulty. Then the next year he came and he prayed, please, I have so much false ego. Please remove this false ego from my heart, but please do it very gently. So, you need to know what you're asking. Krishna is not just a statue. If you actually have prayers and you want him to fulfill it, he will do it in a very terrible manner also. So if you say, I don't care for material distress, the next day, you'll get electric shock and you'll lose all your strength and all these things. So you have to know you have to know your capacity. You have to know your capacity. Okay, let's move on. Question number 2. How has the pure soul become engaged in nescience? Nescience means ignorance. Question 5.
I think it comes in last section of the purport, something. The Jiva potency of the chapter here.
It must be this much. Right. It is too long. Okay, right. The potent can exhibit many potencies, but the potency cannot equal the potent at any stage. One potency may be overcome by another potency, but all potencies are under the control of the potent. The Jiva potency or the Kshetrajya Shakti of the Lord has a tendency to be overpowered by the external potency, avidya karma sangya. And in this way, she is placed in the awkward circumstances of material existence. The living entity cannot be forgetful of his real identity unless influenced by the avidya potency. Okay, then question 3. Let's list some analogies from verses 9 to 11 which explain how A. The Lord is always unaffected by the influence of the material energy. B. How the living entity misidentifies with matter. What's this? Nine to 11. Must be 10 and 11.
Analogies, however, comes in purport, I think, because it lists some analogies.
In the verse itself, you will find how the living entity misidentifies as matter. You see it in text 10. It's like a man who dreams that he sees his head cut off. But the first one is much more for us to be understood. This is all Vishnu Chakravarti.
In the 9th purport itself, Prabhupada gives for the first one that Lord is always unaffected by the incidents of in the purport. He gives some first paragraph, last section. That Jeev Goswami and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur offer a nice example in this explanation. First paragraph, last section. Purport, first paragraph, last section.
Not first paragraph. Second paragraph.
Yeah, here. Okay. Sorry, second paragraph. Yeah. But,
Right, yeah. This is all too long.
yeah.
No explanations. Oh my God. Anyway, it comes in analogies. I'll remove this question, that's all. What is this? 7. Or which two classes of persons do not suffer the material pangs? 17. Oh, yeah, it's there in the text itself. Both the lowest of fools and he who is transcendental to all intelligence enjoy happiness, whereas persons between them suffer the material pangs. Analogies. 2 purport. Prison rules apply to prisoners, but not the king who visits the prison out of goodwill. 9 purport. The sun is all light, and though clouds, darkness, and snowfall come from it, it is aloof. Clouds, darkness, and snowfall can cover some of the sun rays, but never the whole sun. 11. As the moon reflected on water appears to the seer to tremble due to being associated with the quality of the water, so the self associated with matter appears to be qualified as matter. This is 11 translation. 13 purport. Artificially stopping a mischievous child is not the real remedy. The child must be given some better engagement so that he will automatically stop causing mischief. In the same way, the mischievous activities of the senses can be stopped only by better engagement in relation with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Eight. This unit is up to 8 now.
Yes.
Five, because 8.5. Yes. Question 1. How can a perfect yogi at once transport himself from one place to another? 5. If a river flows thousands and thousands of miles, a perfect yogi can at once transport himself from one place to another simply by dipping in its water. Question 2. What is the result of touching the water of the Ganges to one's head? 5. Whoever touches the water of the Ganges to his head surely touches the lotus feet of the Lord directly, and thus becomes free from all effects of sinful acts. Did I add this? If after taking a bath, okay, no. Okay. Then question 3. See something in the chat box. I feel that I'm doing bhakti in fear, not with love. Yes, of course. It's okay. There are different levels of Krishna bhakti. Which yogi it is talking about? This is a mystic yogi, made possible by the power of mystic yoga. So from the context, we understand a perfect yogi means a perfect mystic yogi, Ashtanga yogi. Okay.
So is it also possible for a bhakti yogi?
If he is come to that point, it comes in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. No, we already saw that. Question 3. Trace the narration of the Srimad Bhagavatam from Lord Sankarsana to Maitreya, 7 to 9. It's not here itself. Lord Sankarsana thus spoke the purport of Srimad Bhagavatam to the great sage Sanat Kumara, who had already taken the vow of renunciation. Sanat Kumara also, in his turn, when inquired of by Sankhya Muni, explained Srimad Bhagavatam as he had heard it from Sankarsana. So Sankarsana to Sanat Kumara to Sankhya Muni. Then the great sage Sankhya was the chief amongst the transcendentalists, and when he was describing the glories of the Lord in terms of Srimad Bhagavatam, it so happened that my spiritual master Parashara and Brihaspati both heard from him. So Sankhya to Parashara and Brihaspati. The great sage Parashara, as aforementioned, being so advised by the great sage Pulastya, spoke unto me, the foremost of the Puranas in Bhagavatam. I should also describe this before you, my dear son, in terms of my hearing, because you are always my faithful follower. So from Parashara it came to Maitreya. And from Maitreya it is coming to Vidura. Question 4. What point does Srila Prabhupada establish on the basis of the above disciplic succession? So this is the point that Prabhupada is establishing. So Srimad Bhagavatam was being narrated from time immemorial by the disciplic succession even before the time of Vyasadeva. The so-called historians calculate the Puranas to be only a few hundred years old, but factually the Puranas existed from time immemorial, before all historical calculations by the mundaners and speculative philosophers. I heard that Prabhupada also have such type of mystic powers. Yes, Prabhupada also manifested. Question 5. For what reason was Parashara given the blessing that he would be a great speaker on the Vedic literatures? He speaker on the Puranas, one particular subset of the Vedic literatures. The question should be changed. Puranas. See, on the Vedic literatures called the Puranas. It should be changed. Question 5. Vedic literatures called the Puranas. Parashara's action was appreciated by Pulastya because Parashara had forgiven the demons out of his Brahmanical power of forgiveness. Parashara was able to demolish all the demons in the sacrifice, but he considered demons are so made that they devour any living creature, man or animal. But why on that account should I withdraw my Brahmanical qualification of forgiveness? Question 6. What does the analogy of fire that lies latent within fuel wood indicate? 11. What is this? This is an understanding question. This is not a knowledge question. It indicates that the Supreme Lord remained within the water of dissolution without manifesting his potency, but that is not written here. I'm going to remove this question. No problems. Okay. 7. Why is Garbhodaksha Vishnu's body seen to be bluish? Well, what answer we can give for this?
Translation comes like the living entities were coming out of the and Kal Sakti as Prabhupada describes in the purport also. Kal Sakti is mentioned as avidya and something related to that. Therefore, due to this polluted mentality and due to material sins, the aggregate combination of living entities appear to be bluish, and it were all coming from the Lord's body. Therefore,
This polluted mentality means
jivas, I mean, all the jivas were coming from the body of the Lord. And because they're covered by the avidya, something due to Kal Sakti, time.
Okay, I think it should be like this. The fruitive workers are described in the Bhagavad Gita as mudhas or fools. Such foolish living entities are very enthusiastic to work for some temporary benefit within perpetual bondage. Due to this polluted mentality and due to all the sins, the aggregate combination of living entities appeared to be bluish. That much can be given as an answer. Question 8. How did Lord Brahma acquire 4 heads? 15. When Brahma moved his eyes in all directions, he achieved 4 heads.
So what about the 10,000 headed Brahma or 10,000 headed Brahma? He moved in 4 directions. He said, therefore he had achieved 4 heads.
Look. Our universe itself is sufficiently complicated. Don't make it more complicated by talking about the. I don't even know what those universes are made up of, also. Whatever it is. I want to get out of this universe, first of all, and not enter into any other universe also. Question 9. What does Lord Brahma's perplexity about his circumstances indicate? 17 and 19. Okay. Full answer. This is what it indicates. No one, therefore, can know the mystery of the creation and cosmic manifestation simply by mental speculation. And there is 19. 19. No, but this is not. Okay, by dint of one's personal endeavor, one may go nearer to the Lord, or without the Lord's mercy, one cannot reach the ultimate point. Question 10. When was the Brahma Samhita composed? 22 and 26. Brahma meditated for 100 years before he could understand the supreme cause of all causes, and then he wrote the Brahma Samhita. 26.
Same thing. 26, the same thing is there. Prabhupada talks about the purpose. Same thing.
No. After meditating for millions of years. See, this is Parardhante. After half of Brahma's life. That's when he realized this. So it looks like if Brahma Samhita is describing Brahma's spiritual realizations after half of his life, that means right now, just recently realized. It looks like, according to Gopala Tapani, Brahma Samhita or similar realizations come out after half of Brahma's life. So it takes half of his life to meditate and come to this conclusion. The previous one only simply said 100 years. This is, it looks like this is a far deeper meditation that continues throughout his life, half of his life. And that was specific focused meditation. But this is all, too much now. How do we put it all? Okay, but anyway, this is the answer. Analogy. 11. Translation. Just like the strength of fire within a fuel world, the Lord remained within the water of dissolution, submerging all the living entities in their subtle bodies.